Mentre che rovinava in basso loco, dinanzi agli occhi mi si fu freddo, che per lungo silenzio parea fioco. Quando vidi costui nel gran deserto, miserere di me, gridai a lui qualche tu si od ombra od uomo certo. Rispuosemi, non uomo già fui, e li parenti miei furono numbari, mantuvani per patria ambedui. Nacqui sub Giulio, ancor che fosse tardi, e visi a Roma sotto il buono Augusto, nel tempo degli dei fasci e bugiardi. Poeta fui, e cantai di quel giusto figliuol de Inchise che vine di Troia, poiché superbo Elion fu combusto. Ma tu perché ritorni a tonta noia? Perché non sali il deletoso monte che principio e cagion di tutta gioia? Forse tu quel Virgilio e quella fonte che spandi di parlar sì largo fiume, rispuosio lui con vergognosa fronte. O degli altri poeti onore e lume, valiami lungo studio e grande amore, che m'ha fatto cercarlo tuo volume. Tu sei lo mio maestro e lo mio autore. Tu sei solo colui da cui io torsi lo bello stilo che m'ha fatto onore. La bestia per cui io mi forsi, aiutami dalle famoso saggio che mi fa tremar le vene i polsi. A te convien tenere altro viaggio, rispose poi che lagrimar mi vide, se vuol campar de esto loco selvaggio. Che questa bestia per la quale tu guide non lascia altrui passar per la sua via, ma tanto lo impedisce che l'uccide. E a natura sì malvagia e ria, che mai non empia la bramosa voglia, e dopo il passo ha più fame che prima. Molti son gli animali a cui si morirà, e poi saranno ancora infin che troverà, che la farà morir con voglia. Questi non c'ebra terra nel peltro, ma sapienza, amore e virtute, e sua nazion sarà tra feltro e feltro. Di quella umile Italia fia salute per cui morì la Vergine Camilla a luglio e tornò in iso di Ferrute. Questi la caccerà per ogni fila finché la avrà remissa nello inferno la onde in vita prima di partirà. Ondio per lo tuo me penso ed eterno che tu mi segui e io sarò tua guida e trarroti di qui per loco eterno. Ove udirai le disperate strida, vedrai antichi spiriti dolenti che la seconda morte ciascun grida, e vedrai color che son contenti nel fuoco perché speran di venire quando che sia alle beate genti, alle qua poi se tu vorrai salire, anima fiaccio più di me degna, con lei ti lascerò nel mio partire, che quello imparador che lassù regna, perch'io fui ribellante alla sua legge, non vuol che in sua città per mi si vegna. In tutte parti impera e quivi regge, quivi è la sua scelta e l'alto seggio, o felice colui che ivi elegge. E io a lui poeta, io ti richeggio per quello Dio che tu non concesti, acciò ch'io fuggia questo male e peggio. Che tu mi meni là dove dicesti, sì ch'io veggia la porta di San Pietro e color cui tu fai con tanto mesti. Allor si mosse e io li tenni dietro.
The passage that I will be analyzing is Canto 1, lines 61 through 136, in which Dante uses high style to represent what is happening. The pilgrim has not yet passed through the gates of hell. He found himself in a dark forest and has made his way toward the mountain. He encounters three beasts while climbing the mountain, a leopard, a lion, and a she-wolf, that represent envy, pride, and cupidity, respectively. The she-wolf frightens him so much that he is driven back down the mountain. Cantos 161 through 136 are important lines because they introduce Virgilio, who is the pilgrim's guide throughout the poem, and introduces major themes that will be explored later on. Line 61 reads, Mentre che rovinava in basso loco. Dante describes the pilgrim stumbling down the hill in fear of the she-wolf. Line 61 is the start of the second half of Canto 1. According to Berolini, there are two parts of Canto 1. The first part precedes Virgilio, and the second part starts the moment the pilgrim meets Virgilio. The second part begins by using the word mentre, and the first part of the canto starts with the word mezzo, both words used to describe the middle of an action or a story. Line 61 is dinanzi agli occhi mi si fu offerto, the moment that the pilgrim's eyes land on Virgilio, but he does not know that the figure is Virgilio. Virgilio is one of the characters that stay with Dante throughout the poem, and the moment that they meet is pivotal. The narrative and tonality shifts once Virgilio is presented, says Berolini. Line 63 describes Virgilio's voice as faint due to extensive silence by saying, Chi per lungo silenzio perea fioco. The passage is slightly ambiguous when considering the definition of fioco and lungo silenzio. The line is purposely vague due to the nature of Virgilio's presentation. He is a shade that would be both faint in appearance and through a long silence, and voice due to being silent for a long time. Line 64 reads Quando vidi costui nel gran deserto, which tells the reader that the pilgrim and Virgilio are in the desert that was previously described. The usage of nel gran deserto could be meant to recall la piaggia deserta in line 29 according to Hollander. The line precedes the first words from the pilgrim. Line 65 through 66 reads Miserere di me, gridai a lui qualche tusi ad ombra od uomo certo. The pilgrim is called out for help and empathy from the unknown man. The pilgrim first word, being miserere, sets the tone for the whole poem. The word is from Psalms 51:1 and Aeneid 1:327 through 330. In the Bible, it was used to beg for mercy from God. Both the Bible and Aeneid recur as important books that Dante continues to evoke and draw inspiration from. The usage of the exclamation qualche tu si od ombra od uomo certo shows that the pilgrim could not discern whether Virgilio was a man or a shade. The start of the conversation shifts the poem from a dreamlike state into something that mimics reality, says Berolini. Lines 67 through 69 read Restuesse mi non homo cia fui e li parenti miei furon Lombardi Mantuani per patria ambedui. Virgilio responds to the pilgrim's confusion of what he is by saying he is no longer man and his parents were from Lombardy, born in Mantua. He says that he is no longer human because he is dead, now shade. Dante believes that man was body and soul combined. A soul without a body was not a person. The idea stemmed from his belief in Christianity and Aristotelian ideology. Aristotle believed that the body was a form of the soul, while Christians believed that the body was a vessel for the soul. His parents were born in Mantua, which is considered Lombardy in Dante's time, meaning that he is Mantuan. Line 70 through 72 reads Nacqui sub Iulio ancor che fosse tardi e visi a Roma sotto il buono Augusto nel tempo dei farsi Bejuardi. Virgilio says that he was born under Julius during the later years of his reign and lived under the good Augustus. He refers to the time of false and lying gods. The phrase sub Iulio is in Latin. It labels the time that Julius was in control of Rome. It is emphasized because Dante saw Julius as the founder of Rome. Virgilio had not created the works that would garner attention yet. He began his literary journey under Augustus. Augustus is described by the word buono, meaning that he was held in high regard by Dante, as he does not use that word liberally. Augustus was a ruler that oversaw Pax Romana, a time of peace in Rome. He was a patron of arts and he supported artists and poets such as Virgil. The phrase tempo dei farsi e Bejuardi refers to the fact that it was during the time that Rome was pagan. Line 73 through 75, Virgilio goes on to say, Poeta fui e cantai di quel giusto feluol di anchis che vine di Troia pio poi che il superbo Ilion fu composto. He says that he was a poet that sang songs of Anchises, songs, and the burning of Troy. The word poeta is used in high regards by Dante, showing the respect that he has for Virgil. The phrase Giusto filuol di Anchis refers to Achilles, that is the son of Anchises. Achilles is seen as the hero of Troy before he met his tragic end. His death preceded the fall of Troy, which gives context to Serb Ilion fu composto. Troy is significant because its fall was what led to the creation of Rome within the myth. In lines 67 through 68, Virgilio turns the conversation back to the pilgrim by asking Ma tu perché ritorni a tana noia perché non sali il diletto monte che principio e cagion di tutta gioia. Virgilio questions the reason why pilgrim came back down the mountain. The phrase teoso monte que principio e cagion di tutta gioia refers to the hill of grace that Jerusalem sits at the foot of. It is the delectable mountain that is the origin of and cause of joy. The pilgrim responds to him in lines 79 through 78. Orse tu quel Virgilio y quella fonte che spandi di parlar si largo fiume rispos io lui convernosa fronte. He asks if this shade is Virgilio. He describes Virgilio as fonte che spandi di parlar si largo fiume, the fountain that spreads a wide river of speech. Water is the source of life, so using a metaphor of water to describe poetry could mean that they are equally important to him. He is emphasizing the influence that Virgil had due to his speeches. It is made clear that Dante and the pilgrim admire him greatly. The pilgrim continues in lines 82 through 84. O degli altri poeti onore e lume vagliami lungo studio el grande amore che m'ha fatto cercar lo tuo volume. He is expressing his admiration for Virgilio. He uses the word onore to describe Virgilio, which he only uses for himself and Virgilio throughout the poem. Honor is an important subject for Dante as it can only be obtained and kept through hard work. In lines 85 through 87, the pilgrim gives credit to Virgilio for his own success as a poem. Tu sei lo mio maestro, el mio autore, tu sei solo colui da cui io posi lo bello stilo che m'ha fatto onore. He uses the word autore to describe only Virgilio and God. According to Singleton's notes, an autore is worthy of being believed and obeyed by every person. He uses the word onore again to describe himself. The pilgrim tells Virgilio the reason why he came back down the mountain, asks for help through lines 88 through 90. Vendi la bestia per cuyo mi volsi, aiutami dalle famoso saggio che ella mi fa tremar la vene e I polsi. The phrase la bestia refers to the she-wolf that made him stumble back in fear. Virgilio responds to him in the lines 91 through 129. Virgilio explains the terrifying nature of the she-wolf that Dante has run from. The she-wolf is not satisfied after eating her fill. She represents negative desires or cupidity that will never be quenched. The bestia that he refers to is the she-wolf, and it represents cupiditas, negative desire, which is the opposite of caritas, charity. He tells him that he will lead Dante through hell and help him get to the city of God. The idea of the she-wolf being the most terrifying could stem from Timothy 6:10, radix malorum est cupiditas. The Veltro that kills the she-wolf could represent Jesus killing the root of all sin in his second coming. The Imperator is God. He is shown as the emperor because he is the ultimate ruler of all beings. Paradiso is seen as a city where only the blessed may enter. The usage of rebelliante a la sua legge represents free will versus predestination. Free will being the rebellious act and legge being predestination. Virgilio rebelled by not believing in God and instead worshipping the Roman gods when he was alive. However, he was born before the time of Christ. Lines 130 through 135 are Io a lui poeta io ti rechegio per quello Dio che tu non conoscesti a ciò che fuga questo male è peggio che tu mi meni alto or dicesti si ch'io vegia la porta di San Pietro e color cui tu fai con tanto mesti allor si mosse e io li tenni dietro. The pilgrim asks Virgil for help navigating the Inferno. He describes Virgil's lack of belief in a more favorable way. He says that Virgilio did not know God rather than saying that he is a rebel like Virgilio describes himself.